Diamond C Fundamental for Success number 5, serve one another. Work at serving one another. Put the needs of others ahead of your own. Watch out for opportunities to lend a hand, to serve and to support one another, and be willing and ready to do so. Sometimes it's the extra mile that makes the difference, and when they win, we all win. Practice servant leadership in all that you do. So thank you, Nick, for joining me for a few minutes to discuss this fundamental for success.
Happy to be here.
Number 5. I know that with a career in operations, a phenomenal career in operations leadership, and then even before that, your military experience, that you had to have seen. I think you had to have probably seen a lot of successes and failures and issues over the years as a result of the application of these principles and how well people serve and support one another or not. So I'm really excited to hear some perspective and wisdom from you that for myself and for everyone here and all of our listeners abroad. So if you don't mind, I'd like to dig in right there with that idea of your military experience. What I've observed in you and in the veterans around Diamond C is just, from afar almost, this bit of a brotherhood and a camaraderie and a connection that is something special for sure. And just from what little bit I've talked to you and others about that and have read up on this military life, so to speak, I have to assume that this idea and principle of serving one another plays into that somehow. So how would you say that you saw these principles, serving one another, practicing servant leadership, in your military experience before your life in operations?
Yeah, it's interesting correlation between business world, military world. I feel personally that people going into the military, obviously they have a calling. They have a call to serve, and a call to serve something greater than just themselves, whether it's the military, being with a team, being with people. You mentioned the brotherhood, right? So there is a brotherhood, the esprit de corps, the teamwork that goes with being in the military. And you learn really early on when you join the military, when you go into training, you go into boot camp, that it's not me. I'm not here for me. I'm here for me, but I'm here for everybody that was in the room with me, everyone that was in the squad with me, that was in the team with me. And so you learn that I am not going to be successful if you're not successful. You're not going to be successful if I'm not successful. So you learn really, really quick to be a servant leader. We may not have known it at the time what we were doing, right, but it was, I'm here for you. You're here for me. Mm-hmm. I survive when you survive, and you survive when I survive.
Right.
So you're always looking out for everyone. It's the team mentality. We win together, we lose together. It's all or nothing, and it's those things, those bits you learn early off in the military that you take from here into the business world.
Yes,
it's meaningful.
Absolutely, I can see it in your face talking about it and just feel it, how impactful and important that is. And I would dare say that's maybe the key differentiator for the American military and American
100%
story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is ever no one left behind kind of thing, man. So how does that translate into where you are today? You lead operations at Diamond C. We have knocking on something like 700 team members, and a vast majority of those belong to you, which is a pretty complex job. Lots of internal customers, external customers, a lot of complexities. And so how do you see those same principles of serving one another, practicing servant leadership come to life in growth and success at Diamond C today through operations and what we do here? So
again, a lot of correlation. For me, it's about building trust and respect. And so being a servant leader and always looking out for my teammate, peers within the organization, other silos in the organization, into the sales group, into finance, purchasing, all the way around. If you do not gain trust and respect, mm-hmm. you're not there to help them and help them be successful in their job and what they're doing to help us be successful. You can't build a team. If you don't have a team, you can't build that camaraderie, the esprit de corps. You can't gather around one singular mission, which is delivering results. And if we can't deliver results, then we can't fulfill what we want to do as Diamond C, which is fuel the growth and success of our team members, customers, and community.
Right.
And so for me, it's about building trust, respect, being there when they need me. They're going to be there when I need them. We're going to work together as a team, regardless of departmental conflict.
Yeah.
We're going to rise up. It's one team, one for all. We're going to survive.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I love that. So this fundamental then, serving one another, it builds trust and respect, mutual trust and respect that you build success on, build team success, build a high performance team on that, fuels the growth and success of everyone around. It makes great sense, right?
100%.
So one of the things I also wanted to dig into for a moment here, I think it's easy for this idea of serve one another to be, for me or anyone else around here almost, to almost write this one off as this mystical idea of almost touchy-feely, feel good, patting each other on the back. That's what it means to serve one another, which is valuable and important and part of it. But I also think that it is, I don't know, first, human decency, but second, I think it's really valuable, tangible strategy. And so can you help us connect the dots in how does serving one another apply in the daily grind, in the day-to-day? I mean, even if there's any examples off the top of your head, or I'm just thinking about, the range of jobs we have here, from welder on the line to powder coat operator to hydraulics finisher to marketing to sales, all these roles on the front lines, daily grind. How does serving one another show up?
Big question. Yeah, so day-to-day grind, right? And so I'm trying to formulate a good answer here. So you mentioned it's the soft, it's the fluffy stuff, and it is a lot of that, right? It's opening a door or bringing somebody a cup of coffee and, hey, good morning, how are you doing? It's all those things that build the connection. But for me, this fundamental is it is easy to dismiss, but I think of this fundamental as this is the fundamental of all fundamentals. This is, you take all other 25 fundamentals and roll it up, and every single one of those build on serving one another.
Absolutely.
All the way through every fundamental we talk about. So whether it's, you talked about the welder on the floor, and it's, you're looking out for your team member, and it's like, hey, I notice you're not wearing your PPE. Let's make sure you go home the same way you came in the day.
Right.
Hey, notice you're having a problem with your welding machine. Let me take a few minutes and show you how to set that up. Let me explain to you how this works.
Right.
Here's what it looks like on the drawing. Here's what this means when you translate it, or a bill of material.
Right.
All the way through quality or finance. And if quality's got a question and I can provide data and input, to me, that's how we serve one another. Quality needs help. I'm here. I've got data. Here's what I have. Here's what I can do.
Right. Right.
So it's through all departments, right? It's the be there in the moment. They have a question. They have a concern. They have a risk. Here's what I have. Here's what I can do. Here's how I can help. Does this help?
Yeah. Yeah. Great answer. It seems like from what you just said that just drawing the conclusion that maybe a big part of serving one another successfully starts with the attitude with which we show up with. In all those different kind of contexts and conversations and examples you just gave, whether it's one welder next to the next guy, and he could show up to that conversation mad because the guy messed up a weld, his neighbor, or he could show up to that conversation and let's look at your machine and maybe I have some knowledge that can help you out, or maybe we can find somebody to help you get your machine set correctly, or just so much difference in the attitude with which we approach those conversations. And maybe that's the key differentiator in whether we're serving one another or not, right?
Absolutely.
Good stuff there. So this fundamental, you said, is the fundamental of all fundamentals. And I back that up. I totally support and agree with it. So on that premise, I want to key in just for a moment at the end to wrap up our time together, around this fundamental specifically for people in leadership positions that are leading and managing other people, that are responsible for leading and managing other people. So do you have any words of wisdom charged to everyone out there listening that's responsible for other people? What would be your servant leadership, serve one another charge for them?
I think you said it a minute ago. You don't know what happened to somebody just 3 minutes before your interaction. Mm-hmm. And so, my charge to, my team, the leaders at Diamond C, leaders throughout the world, is come to work every day and be a human, mm-hmm. be a person, be empathetic, listen, come into every conversation, every interaction with positive intent. Again, it goes back to all the fundamentals, right?
Absolutely.
So think from a positive standpoint, be there to help, be there to support, be there to coach, be there to to love and honor and support and build camaraderie and esprit de corps and effort. And again, if we do this and if we do it well and we do it right, and the mission will always be met.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. So show up and do it. Show up with that attitude of serving one another. Humble ourselves. Show up with that attitude of serving one another, working together for greater good, and the results will be the natural byproduct of that almost. So valuable perspective, really valuable perspective. Thank you for sharing all that you have already. I'd like to, I think, wrap up just with saying, reiterating a bit of what you just said, that I firmly believe that the better and better we get at serving one another, the better and better this organization and the world around us will become. So with that, I'm going to say for anyone out there that is yearning for your own growth and success, consider starting with others first. Thank you.